This is an open letter to those of you folks who are really interested in more humans on Earth. I don't think it's going to work out because if you don't value the ones that you've already got, the value is going to go down and people will stop having children until you value the ones that you already got. It's it's just as simple as that. Something that does not have much value is not going to be produced. And you really don't value humans on Earth. And maybe you value your own life and your family's life, and maybe you know to a smaller extent your community's life, and but you don't value others' life, whether it be animal life or other human life. And that's why because you don't value animal life, uh, you start describing other humans as animals, so to decrease the price of their life, because animals don't have a value. Their life doesn't have much value beside the value that the meat has, or the value the egg has. That animal has that much value, what it can produce. And you're running your human societies as well. You got value for as much as you can produce. And capitalism is the mother of all, a mother of all systems, in which it only values what is productive. And for in the truly capitalist system, what is unproductive has zero value. So now, whether that would be the way of the way they went wild game hunting in Africa, for example. It's like the value of that animal was just how much it looks, how good it will look on my wall, its head. That's how much, and how much it can nourish me if I even feel like eating it. But most importantly, how good the head would look on my wall. And now, human hunting, what they're doing in West Asia, in South Europe, West East Europe, human hunting, again degrading humans to animal level, in order for the people who do the killing to feel not so bad about the situation, because you know killing animals is regrettable but necessary. This is exactly what I see, the 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 mindset and the perspective of white people with regards to killing the brown people in West Asia. Is sort of like, it's regrettable but necessary. That's the feeling I get when I see white people talking about West Asia, East Asia, Africa, South America, Central America, anywhere that is not white majority. Killing the natives is regrettable but necessary, a necessary evil. Salute. Anyway, so as long as you don't and here's the thing, you can say, I will reduce the value of your life because you're from a different race or a religion or ethnicity. I will bring down the value of your life, but the value of my life will stay high. I will keep the value of my life high. Yes and no, you can't do that. Once you start bringing down the value of life in general, everybody's life will be somehow affected. Everybody's value of life will be affected. It's like human life. Human life is sort of like, when the price of meat goes down, red meat goes down, the white meat goes down, the price of, fish goes down, because, people compensate. When the price of one goes down, goes up, they buy the other one more, so this price goes up, so nature balances. So you see that there are there is a difference. There are, 50,000 Americans died in Vietnam, but there are like 5 million Vietnamese died in Vietnam, I think, or more. Same numbers. There's a discrepancy, but still 50,000 is a lot. So what happens is, white people try to reduce their own casualty by mechanizing war more and more. So we have smart bombs and smart tanks and smart missiles and smart this and smart that. So our casualties will remain to the minimum, but their casualties will increase. That's, the whole idea behind sophisticated arms. But again, when you decrease the value of life, by even when you even though you're decreasing the value of their life, it's still Earth. It's a round sphere. Uh, you're decreasing the value of life everywhere to a lesser degree other places, but still it affects. It affects the quality of life in your own societies. And internet has become so big that you cannot shield your people from. Once upon a time, after Vietnam War, the military learned that they should shield their actions uh, from if they can shield their actions from the media after the Vietnam War. The military realized that if they can shield the media from their actions, they can take care of business much better with much less uh, horror coming from back home, because it's a dirty business. It's regret. The way white people look at conquering other races is that it's regrettable but necessary. Conquering other races includes killing a large number of them. So it's regrettable but necessary. This is how they look at it. And in this doing this regrettable, I was just listening to Mr. Prince, Eric Prince, conversation with Patrick David, Bet, somewhere in there. Anyway, uh, his attitude is just psychopath written all over him. His attitude towards human life was very nonchalant, sort of like, yeah, we mow them down if we have to. No, it's regrettable, but it's necessary. Private military contractors, it's necessary. We kill much more efficiently if you know it's more efficient killing if we have private military contractors. We do killing more efficiently than the regular soldier who's getting paid $3,000 a month. Yeah, your soldiers get paid $30,000 a month, so they're more efficient. The problem is not the efficiency, Mr. Eric Prince. The efficiency in killing. The problem is you leave them alone. They leave you alone. You don't really need to kill them with regret. You just need to stay out of their way, and they stay out of your way. But this is the lesson that humanity hasn't learned. So life has a very low price on planet Earth. Human life, in life in general, and especially human life, has a very low value on planet Earth, as we can see. And in this situation, trying to tell the humanoids on Earth to reproduce more, it's it really doesn't make sense. Reproduce more for what? More for what? Reproduce so so the rich people have more soldiers to send to kill more humans, and those humans in turn kill these soldiers, and the whole shit show continues with more people dying. Why the fuck I need to reproduce if you're going to waste it once it reaches 18 or 16 or 22, or when you're if you go, or in case of Ukraine is now it's reaching like 40, 45, 50. Anybody we can find with a penis, we're gonna push into the army. Why, recreate human being with so much pain and so much suffering and so much investment until it reaches a mature age and then off with his head. What the fuck? I mean, you have to go fight over there because we need to we believe it's our right to collect the taxes from that piece of land, and they believe it's their right to collect taxes from that piece of land. So you motherfuckers have to go and die for our, you know, penis measuring contest. So seriously, I mean, rich people get into a penis measuring contest, then poor people have to go and die, so these rich people can prove the size of their penis. Anyway, uh, yeah, for those of you who are very, very pro-life and pro-human life, I mean, prove it. Show that it has some kind of fucking value for you. Prevent it from perishing once it reaches maturity, from whichever side it belongs to. Prevent it from perishing. Raise it well, educate it well. If you can do all of that well, then it says, yeah, you're ready for more. But if you are not taking care of the life that you already have created, and you're wasted once it reaches maturity through drugs and through alcohol or through war, uh, if you waste the life that you can produce, then might as well stop producing, because it's a vicious cycle. You keep producing shit, shit produces shit, and then you burn through shit in a war or drugs or whatever, and then some leftover shit produces a little more shit. Are you fucking kidding me? No, it's clear. I mean, here's the thing, Mr. Elon Musk, if you're listening. Here's the thing. I mean, show the mother to be, or possible mother, that other mothers who have already had children, their children are being taken care of very well. Not you personally. I'm saying show the society should show. If the society shows enough examples of you know of taking care of the children that were already born on this planet, if the society can show that, then more women would be encouraged to have children because they see other people's children are so well taken care of. But expecting women to produce these children, when you send these children, as soon as they mature, you send them through a meat grinder of bad education, stressful environment, unhealthy environment, with very little health care and very little psychiatric care, and very bad financial situation. And once they reach maturity, availability of guns and drugs and bad influence will result into early termination of these units. Why produce more units? Somebody's family is becoming rich in a multi-generation sense of the wealth, but it's mostly, for most, this human society has become a meat grinder. And lack of respect for human life is the basis of this meat grinder. Lack of respect for all kinds of life. It's sort of like, it's a basis for this meat grinder. uh, the solution the solution would be, you know your human population reduces to an extent that, at which point, life will become more important. Because at this point is obviously life has lost its value. With all the wars that you get into, And previously, the value of human rights was even less. If you're talking about, during the time of the Mongols and you know, the Romans and the Persians and the Indians and the Chinese, during those times, ancient Chinese and the ancient Indians and ancient. I'm not saying human life was valued more then. It was valued even less then. Just like animal life was even valued less then. There was no, cruelty against animal law during the Roman times. That's why we have the bullfight. The Spanish still do the bullfighting because it doesn't count as cruelty towards animals. Nobody believes in cruelty towards animals. That it's a bad thing. It's again goes back to how much you value life, and you know, and how much you value animals automatically determines how you value human, how much you value human. The whole idea of the whole tribal system in which you change the bride for 12 horses. You gave the father of the bride 12 horses, and the father of the bride gave you a wife. So again, these are all related. Human life, animal life, these are all related. And these are all related and relative, related and relative. So the value of animal life on the surface, it seems, has risen. The value of human life has risen in the West to some degree. But when you look at it, you see that not not equal amongst the whole population. So that's why you have stratification of the population into the ruling class and the warrior class and the merchant class and the farming class. You have this stratification because not the value of human life hasn't increased equally among all these classes. So you have the warrior class whose value of life has become, a little more expensive than the shit head in Iraq. So you send this guy whose life is not so much valued in your piece of land. You send him to fight that shithead in Iraq whose life has absolutely near zero value. And if he gets killed, he's not that expensive either. Who belongs to your society because he was from the poor class. He became a warrior. You know, so the whole idea is that these lives are related and relative. The value of life is related and relative. From human to shithead to white man to black man to white man, these values are related and relative. So it's not like if you decrease the value of life in Gaza, the value of life in your land goes up. No, value of life everywhere goes down. If you start devaluing life in one part of the planet, if you start devaluing the life in for one race, it doesn't push up the value of life for other races. England, for example, had so many casualties when it was conquering other people. But again, these casualties were from the warrior class who joined the British military, British expeditionary forces. And these lives were lost, so, you know, and a lot of the natives whose lives had near zero value were also lost. So, the few people at the center of the British Empire could accumulate more wealth. The system hasn't changed. Now, they accumulate wealth in New York and Washington a little more than they accumulate wealth in Paris and London. But the whole idea hasn't changed that a few rich people are sending poor people to kill each other so the rich people can get richer. So, in effect, as long as you're willing to kill each other over wealth, life is not valued. And I don't blame any poor women from all of these societies on earth. I don't blame any poor woman for not wanting to have babies. Any intelligent woman does not want to have babies in this environment because any intelligent woman would realize that Life is not valued. Human life and life in general is not valued very much on planet Earth. A few value their own life and their own family's life, and everybody everybody values their own life and their family's life, but put very little value on other people's life. And as long as that is the case, many women decide that I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste my time and energy, life energy, to create another life, which you motherfuckers so easily waste. And this is just people have, I mean, women in, let's say, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, women really didn't have this kind of information about the futility of their efforts. So every woman in every village would create 10, 12 kids, not realizing that at one point in the future, her king, the king that was happened to rule over that fucking land, would come and collect, you know, nine of her 10 kids and take him to the army to fight for him. And they didn't realize that the information was not handed down. As long as these wars and these skirmishes were, as long as information didn't get around. I mean, here's the thing, Mister. As long as the information didn't get around, people, through ignorance, would think it's a good idea to procreate more and suffer more in order to have more kids. But now they have information. They see its futility. They don't want to waste their time. Can you blame them?